podcast. I am your host, Ria Matwani, Senior Executive Brickwork Ratings. At the onset, let me take this opportunity to wish all our viewers a very happy, prosperous, and safe Diwali. In this special edition, we'll be hearing directly from our experts their views on the state of economy, recovery trends, investor sentiments, interest rate outlook, debt market outlook, and so on. We have with us three special guests from the industry sharing their views.
I think we are now the fears of COVID, a third wave. If at all, it will be pretty mild, I'm quite sure. But COVID has now become endemic. So we have to learn to live with it. The economy has pretty much opened up now. But there are two parts to where we think the economy is going. So to cut a long story short, this year we are expecting about a 9.5% growth, the same as the Reserve Bank of India, with some slight downside because of all the supply problems. So automobile production, coal production, etc. So the high prices of crude. So some of this will probably take it down a little bit, but 9.5. Next year we are about 8%, but there is a clear upside potential to this 8% growth, depending on how the global recovery happens, how China does, etc. So to break up the growth prospects into two parts. So first look at the global side. So from the global side, there will be a slight slowdown. The IMF predicts a 6% global growth in 2021 and a smaller 5.2, 5.3% growth in 2022, calendar 2022. China remains a risk because of the various regulatory measures, decarbonization, etc. The moves towards common prosperity. So how China behaves will have a potential impact on global growth, particularly through the trade engine, because exports, as you know, have been doing very well as a growth engine for India. So depending on the global recovery, exports might take a small hit. So given this, China's slowdown is also good news for us because from the non-crude side, prices of commodities will begin to moderate. We have already seen coal futures retracing very sharply yesterday. So that's very good news for India. On the domestic front, our growth, as I said, next year is 8%, 8 to 8.5%. So and this will be driven largely by capex. Which is, I'm saying this very deliberately. Consumption, of course, will have a role as the economy opens up, but this will become evident this year. Capex, the government has started spending. Till now, the center's finances that we have seen suggest that the government is spending a lot on capex in railways, in roads, highways, defense, etc. I think that will become more broad-based. We have also seen some slight evidence of private sector capex coming in a few sectors: petroleum refineries, metals, pharma, medical equipment, renewables, batteries, storage, etc. So some private investment has already started coming back in. Hopefully by next year, capacity utilization levels will hit about 70 to 75%, at which the capex cycle will actually begin to get traction. On the inflation front, this year our average inflation for the year is about 5.2%. The next inflation print that we will be seeing for the month of October is likely to be about 4.3, 4.4%, but it will begin to rise again, due to base effects. However, over a period of time, over the next year and a half, we are likely to see a gradual glide path reduction, as the Reserve Bank of India has already forecast, down, say, in the next 1.5 years to close to 4.5%, which is within the comfort zone. However, having said this, the RBI is very likely to start its monetary policy normalization very quickly, probably as soon as the December policy meet. And then later on in FY23, begin to at some point take the repo rate up. So we are facing a rising interest rate environment. The first normalization, and after that, slow gradual tightening of policy. India looks very favorable from the external side. We have huge forex reserves. We are completely positioned to deal with because global central banks will start normalizing, and that will create some volatility, which will spill over into emerging markets, including India. But India's economic activity potential and the macroeconomic policy environment is now very well suited to be able to absorb many of these risks. So that's the broad general thing that we see, and that I just gave a short list of some of the sectors which are already doing well. So many other sectors, as capex begins to pick up, as economic activity, consumption begins to pick up, that will obviously, I mean, from FMCG, consumer durables. And remember, with the PLI initiatives, with other manufacturing initiatives, Make in India, we've already seen some part of the global supply chain, some part, not very much, some part of the global supply chains having come back to India. That can only accelerate over a period of time. So otherwise, economic fundamentals are very, very robust, sound. We just need some little policy pushes to be able to get India onto a sustained 6 to 7% growth path for the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah, thank you so much, and then wish all of you once again a very happy Diwali, very happy and prosperous year ahead. Thank you.
Very depending on the asset class that you have invested in, by and large, fixed income has played the role of the stability provider despite expectations of rate hike towards the fag end of the year. It's been a pretty smooth sailing innings, I must say. So investor sentiments at the current juncture also continue to be pretty buoyant. Start of the year, we believe that 2021 could be the year of the carry, followed by capital gains as the secondary part. That has played out pretty much in line with what we anticipated. Going forward, as interest rates have bottomed out world over and central bankers look to normalize, the portfolio carries are likely to come back to focus. So though there is a rate hike expectation across the globe, including India, depending on what kind of outlook, positioning into the right kind of strategies into the fixed income arena, despite a bottoming out rate outlook, could be the way forward. We could see a reverse repo rate hike as early as December or maybe in the February policy. For a repo rate hike, we believe it is likely to happen in the quarter of April to June in FY 2023. Absolutely, I think the front end and the far end of the yield curve are pretty much pricing in rate hikes way ahead of its happening. So yeah, bulk of the negative news seems to be in the prices at this juncture. Liquidity in the system is likely to recede, but it is not going to vanish in a hurry. So if that were to be the state of affairs and the Reserve Bank of India is going to gradually ensure that interest rates get normalized, then as I mentioned, we are likely to see more range-bound movement across the yield curve, with the ranges shifting gradually higher. So that could be the outlook for bond markets going forward. Difficult to, it's all extempore, but as I said, it's RBI is going to be finally the Shahenshah of the bond markets. So whether it is Andheri Raat or whether it is Bhare Din Mein, what you need to keep watching out for is cues of the central banker, rather than applying your own mind and taking your own investment decisions. And wishing all the viewers a very, very happy festive innings going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
On this auspicious occasion of Deepavali, I extend my warm greetings to all of you and your families. See, Ria, the economic recovery has been very encouraging, very broad-based over the last few months, with credit quality being improved, which definitely holds promise of a revival in the investment and business cycles over the next few months. Timely government intervention and the various measures taken by the government to act as a stimulus for credit growth, along with RBI push for liquidity and ensuring availability of credit, has helped the economy brave these unprecedented times of the pandemic. In addition, wide-scale vaccination has also improved consumer confidence and the overall demand scenario. Therefore, I would say that this definitely points to improved consumer, business, and investor sentiments in the market. And I believe that all these have also helped the Indian rating industry in FY22. One more thing I would like to add is globally too, increased vaccination rate, easing of travel restrictions, easing of trade and commerce have all led to revival of demand. The outlook for the debt and credit markets appears fairly optimistic. But here I'd like to sound a word of caution, because we have to recognize that there could be post-pandemic challenges and a possible slower than expected economic recovery. All this can hinder business conditions. However, I believe that economic recovery would definitely solidify as the pandemic effects lessen, though debt repayment risks are likely to be high if either growth or earnings or liquidity wane. And also, this is a scenario where the policymakers are likely to scale back fiscal and monetary support in varying degrees. See, some indicators are definitely very clear and positive signs. One is robust government revenue collections, improved GST collections. There has been improved credit growth through both the banking and the NBFC channels. There's been an impetus to infrastructure, spending, infrastructure pipeline coming in, the directive to government departments to expedite their capex plans. There have been sector-specific PLI schemes which have been announced. All these definitely augur well for economy. These factors, I would say, are also positively correlated to the demand for credit rating, since most of the credit flow in the organized sector is routed either through the banking or the debt market, most of whom require credit ratings. Therefore, yes, I do see positive signs ahead for the credit rating industry. Now, I always don't fail to say that Brickwork Ratings remains committed to analytical excellence, to our consistency in ratings, and to investments in technology for enhancing the value of our offerings to our customers. So I'd like to wish everyone, may this festival of lights and hope help in overcoming the dark clouds induced by the pandemic. There is light ahead, there is hope, and there are definitely better times for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to all our esteemed speakers. It was really insightful session. Once again, a very happy Diwali to everyone out there. If you find the video informative, stay tuned for more such sessions. Please do like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.